We have learned that the Chinese government has indeed launched a crackdown targeting coronavirus survivors as well as family members in China who have lost loved ones to the pandemic. Now, national security sources tell us this is really just the latest in the Communist Party's ongoing efforts to cover up the early days of the outbreak inside Wuhan, the number of cases inside that city that's the epicenter, as well as the true extent of the virus's spread across the rest of China. The crackdown against the bereaved includes online censorship, shuttering down support groups, police interrogations, and even threats against lawyers who are representing Chinese victims. Secretary of Defense Esper says it's all part of a very clear pattern to try and save face at the expense of people's lives. Take a listen.
They need to still allow us in to talk to early patients, to talk to the Chinese researchers and scientists, and to have access. What are they doing? They're trying to capitalize on this by promoting their own image, that somehow China is the good guy here.
The crackdown's particularly tough inside Wuhan, the epicenter of the virus outbreak back in December. The New York Times was first to report that officials there have also been paying off family members to the tune of $420 per member lost to the pandemic. China's ambassador to the U.S. is pushing back today in a new op-ed. He accuses U.S. politicians of scapegoating China in order to distract from their own failures. He writes, behind the mindset of always blame China is a kind of dirty politics championed by a few who shift the spotlight for political gain. Now, as the U.S. and the international community ramps up pressure on China's government, on the Chinese Communist Party to come clean and be held accountable for the spread of the virus, our national security sources say this is an important reminder to point out to folks that the Chinese people, Chinese citizens, are also hungry for accountability and for the government to account for how they managed the crisis during the early days of the outbreak.